Square roots and cube roots. Notes. Part 1. Find the side lengths and area for the following squares. A, we have 2 squares. Therefore, the side length is 2 units. And the area is 2 times 2, which gives you 4 units squared. B, side length here is 1, 2, 3, 3 units. Therefore, the area is 3 times 3, which is equal to 9 units squared. Part 1C, we have the side length of 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's 4 units. And the area is 4 times 4 units, which gives you 16 units squared. Reflection. What do you notice about the relationship between the side length and area? Can you find a way to express it using an equation or formula? So we notice that the side length times the side length equals the area. Equals area. And if I were to use a formula, it would be side times side, or side s to the power of 2 gives me the area. So squaring a number, what does that mean? So to square a number means to multiply a number by itself. It's represented as a power with an exponent of 2. For example, 2.3 to the power of 2 is equal to 2.3 times 2.3, which is equal to 5.29. We say 2.3 squared. So what is a square number? So the product of an integer multiplied by itself is a square number. Recall, integers are the set of whole numbers and their negatives. So -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Square numbers are also referred to as perfect squares. So 3 to the power of 2 is equal to 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. 9 is a perfect square because it's a product of an integer number 3 multiplied by itself. Okay, so the question on the bottom is 42 a square number? Explain how you know. So 42 is not a square number because no integer multiplied by itself will have a product of 42. For example, 6 times 6 is 36 and 7 times 7 is 49. So what is the square root of a number? So the inverse of squaring a number is to take its square root. So the square number 3 to the power of 2 is equal to 9. 9 is the square number. the square root of 9 is 3. So the square root of 9 is 3. It's the inverse operation. The square root symbol is, it's also called the principal square root or the radical. The positive and the negative square root symbol is the sign that you see here. So you'll have a plus and a minus. Therefore, your answer will be, if you look here to the right, will be positive or negative 3, because the positive or negative square roots of 9 are. So there's two ways you can get the square root of 9. Positive 3 times positive 3 will give you positive 9. And also negative 3 times negative 3 will give you positive 9. So going back to the left side here, when the square root symbol does not have a positive side, it's implied that it's positive. Okay, some examples. Evaluate the following squares and square roots. So negative 1 in brackets to the power of 2 is negative 1 times negative 1, which is equal to 1. B, the square root of 25. Notice there's no plus or minus, so it just means the positive square root of 25, which is 5. C, the square root of 4 over 9 is the square root of 4 over the square root of 9, which is equal to 2 over 3. And you can't further simplify the fraction. D, 2 over 5 to the power of 2 is 2 over 5, and there's several ways you can write this. This is one way. Times 2 over 5. You multiply the numerators and the denominators together, which is equal to 4 over 25. Part 2. Find the side lengths and volume for the following cubes. So the side length here is 1, right? There's 1 unit. And the volume means the total space the whole cube takes, which would be 1 times 1 times 1, which is equal to 1 units cubed. So I'll draw these here. So 1 times 1 times 1 is equal to 1 units cubed. Side length of B is 1, 2, and it's 2, each way. Therefore, the side length is 2. Therefore, the volume is 2 times 2 times 2, which equals to 8 units cubed. And finally, C, the side length here is 1, 2, 3. 3 units. Therefore, the volume is 3 times 3 times 3, which equals to 27 units cubed. Reflection. What do you notice about the relationship between the side length and volume? Can you find a way to express it using an equation or formula? So the side length multiplied by itself 3 times equals the volume. And if you wanted to write a formula, you can represent S for side times S, which equals the volume. And you can also put the S to the power of 3, because S is multiplied by itself 3 times, which equals the volume. Okay, so how do you cube a number? To cube a number means to multiply a number by itself 3 times. It's represented as a power with an exponent of 3. The product of an integer multiplied by itself 3 times is a cube number. Cube numbers are also referred to as perfect cubes. So we say here 2 to the power of 3 or 2 cubed. Cube root. So how do you find the cube root of a number? The inverse of cubing a number is to take its cube root. The cube root symbol is with a 3 to the left. When there's no numbers there, then it's implied that it's the square root, a 2. And the way we say this, if we look over to the right, it is the cube root of 8 is 2. So what number times itself 3 times will give you 8? Evaluate the following cubes and cube roots, then complete the tables below. So -1 cubed or to the power of 3 is, and there's brackets here, so you keep the brackets, will equal to -1. Because -1 times -1 will give you a positive, times positive and a negative will then give you a negative. B, what is the cube root of -8? It will equal to -2. You can always check, especially at the beginning. -2 times -2 times -2 will equal to -8. Slower version of this, or with more steps, -2 times -2 is 4 times -2, which equals to -8, which is back to the original number inside the cube root. What is the, we're looking at C, what is the cube root of 8 over 64? So what is the cube root of 8 over the cube root of 64, which is equal to 2 over 4. And then you can further simplify that to 1 over 2. D, what is 1 over 5 cubed? So that is equal to 1 to the power of 3 over 5 to the power of 3. You could also write it the way we did it in the example, which is 1 over 5 times 1 over 5 times 1 over 5, which ultimately, if you're multiplying all the denominators together, will be 5 to the power of 3. So the 3, exponent of 3 applies to the 1 and to the 5 as well. So 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, and 5 cubed is 125. So we here have a square roots, cubes, and cube roots chart that you can fill out. And this will help you along with your homework. The more and better you know your squares and square roots and cubes, the quicker it will be for you to find and answer the questions. So 1 to the power of 2 is 1. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. and so on. Square root of 1 is 1, because 1 times 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. And here's the chart completed with all the squares, square roots, cubes, and cube roots. Thank you, and hope this lesson helped.